Okay, I think got it all set up here. Thanks for joining me. I'm Linda Hollington of Auto Bank of Paradise. What does the word FEMA mean to you? Well, I've been in Florida over 20 years now, permanently. Before that, I had properties, different places in Florida and came here occasionally. But this is hurricane season. It began just today, yeah, at the beginning of this month, it's June. And so we'll be hearing a lot about it. And so we're going to talk about it a little bit this morning. The FEMA has put out issued lots of warnings. I don't know if you've got any or not about to take mitigation measures against hurricanes. What does that exactly does that mean? That means to lower your chances of having issues with it. I certainly have had them. My son had them. He had two houses that he had to revamp. He had to get another place to live. And he didn't live on the coast. I live on the coast. We had winds go through a front bedroom once. Fortunately for us, it closed the door to that bedroom. It kind of destroyed that room, but it didn't go through the whole house. But when they say hurricane season to some of us, it brings about. That's all I'm saying. To others, you may be new or maybe haven't had a bad experience, but listen up today. We're going to talk a little bit about FEMA. We have an extensive coastline, and our location is unique. We're surrounded east, west, and south with a gigantic body of water that tends to come ashore somewhat, and it tends to make the storms not dissipate like they do when they go across the continental part of the United States. So you are encouraged as Florida homeowners to take measures now to prepare your home for potential disasters. Usually we don't see anything. I think I remember seeing them as early as August, first or second week of August, when the kids go back to school. And as late as I think we had one in November one time. Not real sure about that. That I remember early part of November we had one. So what does that mean? It means you take caution and care to reduce any losses that you might have. And that increases your home's ability to withstand severe weather, hurricanes, flooding, wind. And it should also lower your insurance rates when you take these measures to heart. And it could increase the value of your property. What are some of these things that you might want to look? Your heating that you have in your home. You might want to elevate it. So if you have any flooding, it's not affected by it. Ventilation, air conditioning, mechanical units, ductwork, electrical systems, and other utilities get them up off the ground where there is a potential flooding. Install hurricane shutters. I think almost everybody in Florida has shutters of some kind or another. They do make windows that are, you don't need shutters to a certain degree. Reinforce your garage doors and your double entry doors so they can't come up. Or that's real serious business there. And a lot of people go so far as to elevate their home. Don't I say I'm not an expert on that, but they do they take the floor plan, they elevate the home somehow to height that protects it. They call it being elevated above the BFE, which if you're like me, it's like, what the heck does that mean? It's the base flood elevation indicated by FEMA. You want to do that? I'm going to leave some information for assistance in finding and understanding your flood evaluation. I have FEMA's email and phone number, so I'll leave those in my thoughts. Also install flood vents in foundation walls, garages, and other enclosed areas. So if the water does get in, it can get out. It just doesn't stay there. Anchor any fuel tanks you have. That could be very big mistake if those start floating around and full of fuel. They can tip over and float. They can release the fuels, creating a fire, explosion hazard. Install a black backflow valve on your sewer system to prevent the sewage from backing up into your house. Because if it floats, it starts floating 6 blocks away. I can remember sewage floating around the back of the mall in Melbourne because they ended up redoing the whole street back there. And waterproof your basement walls if you have a basement. Not too many of those in Florida, but if you do, you can get stuff to keep from coming in the walls. Safeguarding your home doesn't have to be costly. It can bring your insurance down, not to mention saving you from arrest. So like I said, I'll keep these for you. I know this was rather boring, but it's important for us right now to think about hurricanes and to take it seriously, what we could do to, I just paid my insurance for hurricanes a couple days ago. It can bring the cost down of that. And remember, most of those insurance does not include flood. You have to buy flood insurance from other sources. Now, oddly enough, I get mine from AAA, but you need flood insurance separately. This what FEMA is only covering your home and buildings. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you again. We are going to talk a little bit more about hurricanes in the next one. See you again soon.